Hi everyone, this is for anyone who's interested in doing HCG around the world. The homeopathics, I've been using homeopathic HCG for about 12 years in the clinic, and I figured what I should do is really put together a series of short videos around something specific associated with HCG. So basically the whole program, this is just about the parts of it. So phase 1 is the loading days. So when you start taking the homeopathic drops, you take, the ones that I use are called MGP23, but there's lots of homeopathic brands around. In Australia, there's also a Health Script brand. But basically, I use MGP23, and the MG stands for muscle growth and protein. So therefore, it's a formula. And this happens generally during HCG anyway. But brown fat contains a lot of mitochondria. So as we are releasing fat, if we are low in muscle, our bodies can actually grab that mitochondria and start creating new muscle mass with it. So I use homeopathic HCG. There's 3 phases to the process. There's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So if you see those written around the net, you'll know what they're talking about. Phase 1 is loading. So you pretty much eat anything you're going to miss in the next 12 weeks while you're doing the process. So, but the main thing about phase 1 is that it should be high in fat. So you are taking your drops, 10 drops 3 times a day, away from meals, away from coffee, away from cleaning your teeth, and that, and basically you do things you're going to miss. Yeah, that's what I always do during HCG loading. Then the next 23 to 42 days is called phase 2. Phase 2 is the very low calorie diet. So that's where you do the maximum of 500 calories a day. Now, they're the leanest proteins you can get. So kangaroo, chicken breast, lean beef. So you can use low-fat cottage cheese. So basically it's the leanest proteins with 2 cupfuls of veggies and a piece of fruit and a small amount of starch per meal. And small, I mean small. So, you know, the grissini sticks, 1 or 2 grissini sticks, or the rice thins, the thin ones, you know, with some tomato, salt and pepper on it or something like that. But basically that's it, twice per day. 100 grams of protein, 2 cupfuls of veggies, a piece of fruit, very specific veggies, very specific proteins, very specific starches. But that adds up to about 500 calories a day. You never do more than 1 red meat at a time in a day, because there's more calories in red meat than white meat. Oh, prawns and crabs. Anyway, so the handout has all of that in it. So that's the very low calorie. Now, during this process, several things are happening. Obviously, we're losing weight, but you should not be hungry if you're doing it correctly or if your drops are working. Now, if your homeopathic drops have been damaged, then you will be starving. Homeopathics are really sensitive. So therefore, when you're taking, you need to keep them away from mobile phones and electronics and your microwave and your freezer and your fridge and things like that. You've got to keep them separate. So basically, very low calorie diet for 23 to 42 days, homeopathic drops, 10 drops 3 times a day. You know, it's probably not a bad idea to set your alarm on your phone, say 7 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock, something like that, so that it's regulated. And then as long as you eat away from them by a minimum of 20, 30 minutes, that's fine. So that's that. Then the last 2 days of phase 2 is when you stop your drops, but you continue your very low calorie diet. You've got to get the HCG out of your system, because once you start increasing your calories, HCG is a fat storing hormone. We lay it down during stress. So you want to get the HCG out for that 2 days, and then you kick into phase 3, which is consolidation. So consolidation is where you're retraining your fat cells that you've got left. Phase 2, you both shrink your fat cells as well as eliminate some fatty packets, the little fat cells themselves. They're like empty balloons. They've been released into your bloodstream and actually been eaten as part of your nutrition for the previous, 23 to 42 days. That's why HCG is so amazing, because it actually eliminates fat tissue, which is the only thing that I know of that does that besides freezing to death and starving to death and being up on Mount Everest for a week. So phase 3, it's about consolidation. So you want to retrain your fat cells. So whatever your end weight, so just say you got to the end weight, I'm going to talk kilos here. You get to the end weight and just say you're 70 kilos. So as soon as you are more than 800 grams over that, then you must do a reset day. So the reset days are either a steak day or an apple day. And once again, it's not as fabulous. Basically, a apple day, you eat a maximum of 6 apples between between lunchtime and 7 p.m. So basically, it's an intermittent fasting day, which is amazing. This guy died 45 years ago, and he was so ahead of the curve with a lot of his thought processes around weight loss. So that's an apple day and a steak day, but I'll do a separate video on these. But a steak day, you don't eat anything all day. So you just drink, black coffee, herbal teas, lots and lots and lots and lots of water. And then at nighttime, have a nice big piece of steak or fish or something like that, say 200-300 grams, a nice green salad with some tomato in it, sort of thing. And then the next day, that weight will have come down again. So they're sort of reset days. So that's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of HCG. I've been doing it for a long, long time. So it just works. Anyway, if you do want a copy of the handout, because maybe you've tried it before and haven't had much success, maybe there's something in my handout you haven't seen before, you can contact me at healthteam@newleafnaturaltherapies.com.au. That's my email. Cheers. Bye.